What's going on, gamers? I am Merkava18. Today, we are taking a look at a Marvel Snap deck that I have been having a lot of success with of late. We've hit Infinite and have been climbing into some of the Conquest ladders with this one. It has a lot of win conditions. It does really well against some of the meta decks. And most importantly, I think it catches people off guard to a large degree. And it's a little bit underplayed. I don't see a lot of people playing this one. So let's dive right in. Here are the cards that we're using in this one. We've got Hood, Titania, Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, Merlin, Green Goblin, Debris, Viper, Galacta, Sentry, Hobgoblin, Annihilus, and Galactus. Now, Galactus is a card that is a little bit hard to play at times because people often see them coming. It's one of those that in traditional Galactus decks, people are gonna. It's hard to not telegraph where you're going and what you're doing with it. So the best way to play with Galactus these days is to hide it behind different kinds of decks, and that's why I think one of the most successful parts of this deck is that it has a lot of win conditions without Galactus in it. But then you can catch people off guard, surprise people. There are a couple of ways you want to play Galactus. So we're going to talk about some of the synergies and the win conditions, and then I'm just going to show you some gameplay and let you watch it in action. The first thing you're going to notice is that with Annihilus, you're going to have a lot of negative cards that you can put on their side of the board, which works really well with a lot of the current meta, which uses a lot of extra cards. You've got Kitty Pryde, you've got Thanos, and a number of other decks that just use a ton of extra cards on their side. So one, it helps disrupt that as a general thing. And then there are often like empty lanes that you have swamped with Hood or with the negative version of the arrow from Hawkeye or with Annihilus or Hobgoblin, Green Goblin. So there may be a situation where they've given up on one lane and don't expect you to hit them with Galactus. You use it there. It is also particularly effective when you do that with Galacta, who will then boost his power to make it more likely that it triggers him, catching them fully off guard. And then if you don't have the ability to play Galactus here, it has enough win conditions on its own. You particularly want to fill the right side lane first so that you can use cards like Sentry more effectively. And then Debris is there to flood zones in the event that you're playing against a high volume like Zoo deck or a Thanos deck. You can prevent them from playing the cards that they want to. And it just kind of has like a ton of different win conditions. It's a little bit toxic and a little bit unfair to some players, but it does have a lot of really cool things. So let's talk about some alternative cards. One of the things that I think this deck could, if you don't have any of these particular cards, I get often asked, like, how can we change this up? Like, Madam Web is a good option because you can move cards away from a specific zone. You can do things like Cloak to help move cards away. And there's also a brand new one that is also very useful in this one. If you have Hellion or have the ability to get Hellion, that's a very good one because anytime you have the ability to move cards off of a lane into a different lane so that you can then use Galactus or like flood a zone that you can give up on and just win two of the three. Anything that can help you move those cards off, super, super helpful as an alternative. I would also say cards that disrupt like Stegron or Cannonball are super useful within this deck. Cannonball especially, if it's flooded, and they don't give up, you can destroy like a heavy hitter card, like their top card on a specific lane that isn't Thanos, and destroy it so that they are no longer able to gather the power that they need. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and show you some gameplay of this one. Hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to hit the subscribe button. Check out the channel for the live streams and some more Marvel Snap content for new cards coming very soon. All right, let's dive right in here to our first match. I'm going to show you and talk you through how I play these as we go. I'm going to play, like I said, we want to fill the right lane first. We're going to go Titania there. I don't mind her bouncing back and forth a little bit. I even don't mind losing her necessarily as a card. We're mostly just trying to fill this right lane so we can play cards like Sentry here and flood his zone with cards that he does not want. Okay, that's a good zone for us. Gonna leave it alone for a second, but we can fill that maybe with like a hobgoblin or something like that. Let's go Pim and basic here. Because even if he plays like one card on the right there, we're gonna get Titania back. Let him play where he is. Patriot. Okay, so that's like a signal of a non-ability card style. He's probably gonna copy that. The Merlin is there to try to gain some incantations and change some of the zones up that may not work for us. We do have Galactus in our deck, so we're eyeing that towards the middle here, maybe. Ideally, we would pull Galacta here, and then Galactus in the middle, so that he would gain 3 extra power. Man, this guy's taking his time, isn't he? Nobody's in any rush or anything. Play a card, my guy. How hard of a decision is it? Okay, we haven't snapped yet because I mostly don't know what he plans to play here. I at least have some sense of what he's going to do. Okay, so that's a good zone for us to put Green Goblin on. Place this location. Give Merlin some power. Now, don't worry if this gets flooded, because we can go Annihilus still. But at the very least, he doesn't want those 2 Green Goblins there. Okay. Acta. Okay, so that zone. Interesting. Okay. Final turn. It's a little bit of a risk, and there's a non-zero chance that we lose here. But our card is going to flip first. So if he puts anything here, we still get the Galacta effect. It just becomes a question of, is 9 power enough? And I guess we'll find out. Obviously, we're not going to snap here because it's a low chance. And we win. He did not see that Galactus coming. And that's why this is such a strong deck, because it's like so well hidden behind a deck that doesn't typically run Galactus. And the use of Merlin especially is going to throw a lot of people off, because Merlin is not used in this style of deck very often, but it has so much utility to it. So there we go. That is the gameplay in action. There were a number of other ways that we could have played that. We could have gone Hobgoblin in the middle there to be a little bit more safe. We could have played some higher power cards like Annihilus. You know, you can go Hood and Viper. And just a number of different ways you can win without even having to play Galactus. And again, that wasn't a guaranteed win, but at the very least, it worked out this time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you again for the next one.